왕부족이 율도스 율도 이동명 파르마숨레 투숨 히웨체 지den기 감 강다나 리터부 녀몽기 왕도 마송 왕도예 탐제 녀몽바 탐제 코자기 대다기 쳔네 심전대다 투숨 메베 게자단 덴버규지 냠도 삼바타파니 장고스 보다 로자 냐도기 절람 탐제당 인생 뒤탐제도 라워자오 서와다도 숭도 다들 오늘 말하죠 튼삼갈라 튼갈라 가래나서 때문에 튼삼갈로 해안도 있냐가요 인도가라 튼삼데 쉬우지게 첨버리 인도가라 백게 첨버진 숭고하라 어디 즉 삼나데 되가라 튼데 튼삼이네 튼삼데 조치고래 배 잡잡제고래 가는 것도 튼삼라 맞죠 이네 그것도 담다 텐데던라네 미고와 용해요래 보다디 인디가라 즉 잡잡제고래 스테 순거라 인도
Continue with the reading. We just read that, concerning the three objects, three poisons, and three virtues, the instruction to be followed in brief is to take these words to heart in all activities. So, when the six senses come into contact with the six objects, such as those that are attractive, unattractive, and neutral, if the three corresponding poisonous or disturbing emotions arise, sincerely train your mind. Think, quote, by these means I have cut off all the disturbing emotions of all the many beings overpowered by them in this world. May they thus abide in virtue and be freed from three poisons, unquote. Practice this in all activities, whether standing, strolling, lying, or sitting, and at all times, whether day or night. So, generally, practitioners, when they are in the, when we look at these two sessions, meditative and post-meditative, during actual meditation, they are sitting and doing, kind of single-pointed practice, and so there's a less chance of kind of distractions. The practitioner is already engaged in a serious practice, very kind of with full awareness. But then here emphasize the importance of after meditation, post-meditative stage. So when you are not actually meditating, then there are much higher risk of indulging in all kinds of negative activities. So here emphasize the importance of basically maintaining conscientiousness, carefulness when you are not meditating. So that could be here, whether you are walking, standing, lying, or sitting, or whatever activities that you are engaged. Other than meditation, that you should be all the time, be kind of aware, conscientious, and so that's the kind of the emphasis here. In fact, we sometimes find more kind of emphasis on being careful, being conscientiousness during when you are not meditating.
Wada loben kamale shilikita nzebe gomrim les niji chembote rogyang rung dengyang rung cholan tham cheta dui tham chetu simjen tham jela kombar chao je sumba taro sambatte tabudang jirwa chidu jebe gone kyang dala tada dimi dagi mali dimension ta di gobulutugi umaran chintawe tsire dala teta dimi dagi mali dimension siare simjen gunge dunga dala minjing dage dege tigunla dewar sho doye dunga kanchiru tigun dala mingyuchi chanchu seba tekunja roa de lango barsho je tetar rishi tan jebe kombar chakwete sharawe jane damga di kombar chebala gyutha rimbu ni jebjintu chimi hyong ngeba chi kyang myong zo jong babala tangwa tar jona rewa chi kyang myong lo chun jemo tar ngeba chi kyang myong karna jomarna cha zerwa chi ki samba thaba nyen benna lui choni pungdu thopa tar nopa thamche lunga thamche le trowar gwaji in di rungam mirung tupa mitu cham micha nyamdu ti chunki lungwa kawe mion sung marche so yunde menga dimi tangbo sumki de ta jen jepe sulin la tongna ni ke koni cham ni je jongwa la lasam rache su yeba zurtu manze to da chik dine sungu da chik ngone ta janju ke sem jangwe adama ngone di sungu ara igen ta iginde menga dung koni lojong ta da jin jebe koni lojong ta oda di chiri kala karanga su dinala lamrin namdra la chana duwa ani chidani iginde menga dung koni lojong ta de so joji pa karsa joji pa de addition yuba de lama selling pa to shuji pe dagane pa selling bi la pe juina la loji da dawa tu inaji katsekya di dama de se ani dajin jebe kone lojong da de to lebenchi jiwa lagi labjen chugu se ta di ripi namdang kone chik phage telam babchaida labchenbu ani janji saba wangbo nambogi wangpa shida inta dige labchenbu shin chik sungduwa oda di ni de ani ngarang ta dama niga du shine nyamsu lemba ina etsen che yori se de du sungduwa oda di indikala chik yunimenga dungone lojong thada dajin jebe kone lojong na niga thorne du pelmata tane ne chik gomba che wate di ke chenpo insare o te yongala tonle kone du sichegi na shitagi lola pagi tanda kompa lebya tan tendela penta yonggu yasar o te ngire
Just as Kamala Shila's stages of meditation says, that's on page 78, last paragraph at the end of page. Kamala Shila's stages of meditation says, the great compassionate one, in all his actions, whether walking or standing, and at all times, must acquaint himself with all sentient beings. Such a thought should be complemented by reciting the following lines. So these following lines are from actually Nagarjuna's text, Precious Garland. May their misdeeds ripen on me, and may all my virtues ripen on them. May all sentient beings' sufferings mature on me, and through my virtues may they all be happy. Whatever agonies beings may suffer, may they ripen on me alone. Through all the virtues of bodhisattvas, may wandering beings enjoy bliss. This must be practiced from the depth of your heart, the great Sharawa said, Geshe Sharawa. You can train and accustom yourself to this instruction of mine, neither in the manner of a single long beam, no matter how level or extended it may be, nor like a stone rolling down a rugged hillside, no matter how tough, nor like stagnant lukewarm pond water. But if you strive with absolute determination, as the saying goes, quote, red as blood and white as curd, unquote, then like a donkey emerging from a flock of sheep, you will be freed from all interferences and sufferings. If you hesitate over whether it is proper or improper, or whether you can or cannot engage in training, it will not be successful. The mind of exchanging self and others is equivalent to the first 3 points of the 7-point course in result training in the awakening mind, such as recognizing beings as having been our mothers. The special wish has not been dealt with separately, since it is integral to the actual training in love and compassion within the practice of giving and taking. So at the end of this section, we find the mention of both these two technique of generating altruism or bodhicitta, as you know, the first one being exchanging, first one being cause and effect precepts, 7-fold cause and effect precepts, beginning with recognizing all sentient beings as one's mother, and then and that is a one technique and lineage, and then there's on the other one being exchanging and equalizing oneself with others. And the detail of these two were, you can look at the text that we finished before, Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand. The first one, 7-fold cause and effect precepts of generating altruism, is actually, the lineage that comes, from Atisha, and further it goes back to Lama Selingpa, as probably many of you are familiar with the Selingpa, spending many months, 1 year and almost 6 months, traveling in a ship to Indonesia, receiving the specific instructions. And so commonly, sort of the credit is given to Atisha, the holder of this lineage, 7-fold cause and effect precepts. While on the other hand, the profound practice of lineages, this exchanging self with others, this is founded, goes back to the great master, Indian master Shantideva. And this second practice, exchanging oneself and equalizing with others, is actually the profound, in a sense, it is a practice that is more suitable to the practitioners of a high scope or great capacities, or you can say high intelligence, because profound or extensive, actually extensive in a sense, it kind of entails the requirements of many different logical approach, to understand and to apply this technique, exchanging oneself with others. Therefore, extensive lineages of this practice, exchanging and equalizing with others. So, in the practice of generating or altruism, both of these two are important, kind of using together, and also the practice of tonglen, giving and taking, could become much more effective in kind of using again, with this kind of practice.
Father George Father Disha Muni Gagar Gazogarni Pa Gundimenga doing Janju Simjon Dambati. The Selingpa Mother mains, Gagar Galon and Titi Yamari, the mains, and Selingpa Yoa Coche, ni Gagar Gazogarni, Titi Disana Jinji, do feed up all your money. Titi Gajare. Seri Yargendo Neloni Yam goes to Neloni years mother to go on Marwa. Tita, Kandish collect them to water. Rang is so late on it that Digi Kachi, Damni, Dambaza Chimbodi, Lembare. Any Maranzo ina that Tindigi collect jam war. That money there, Nebe. Nalendra Jung Tina, Jung Chomotezo, Dama Lancho Mare, Pe Jung Chambena through the any quantity and Susu Chegua. Tape Kanjing Kibi on Potizui, Any pay Naranzula, Chick, Kaladamasana Zachajo, Zuni, any Latu Langdebo, any pay Diniji, teach che Dumdebo Shuji, Tanatisoda, but Missibata, Suslo, Sanlota, Dus Chegina, Ta Nyamne Jetebo Shuji Tape, Dishare, Tap Muni, Tuso Kainla, those Pechalo, Sanlota, Dus Chena, Tendem Penoyare, any Tadundi Karsori. 로종 디게디 셰발라 문에 하게 셈다 셈중은 남이에서 어서 장 조텔라 아니 두스 장 아니 디체 두스 제베나 아니 미게웨 셈긴 남이제시 미게웨 셈긴 남이제시리 아니 디 로종데 에페 셈 야르게 간데스탕구에 메테 셰베나 케벤 랑라요 뭐다 케벤 전달을 수치를 라요 말와 대인들가 문에 개침버리 다디 문에 개침부 차대요 어디 도스제네 에 로장산도 도스래 그 배전이 공지 반환진지네 아니 장기나 펜다용 그랬은 것도 없이 뒤서서 마서
So from the two technique, the first one of generating altruism, sevenfold cause and effect, cause and effect, sevenfold cause and effect precepts, as we mentioned before. How Atisha kind of received this teaching, this specific instruction. At that time, it was not available in India, and then he has to travel whole way crossing ocean to nowadays considered as Indonesia from his teacher Lama Silingpa. And then at that time, if you look at the how much kind of sacrifice that he made, it's like given at that time lack of facilities and proper ways of transportations. And spending many, months, in a ship, it's like giving up his own life just for this one specific instruction. And when we look at different, the big textbook or scriptures of Buddhism, we find the instructions of like this one, generating altruism. Or maybe mind training, we find these are all mentioned sort of scattered among all different big texts. But fortunately later we find, by the gratitude of great Tibetan masters and practitioners, they make it really kind of easy, and they kind of, made all training very kind of easy to practice, take out what is needed from different texts and then compile in one short text. And so therefore at this time, for us, when we look out and try to find a technique and practice of like a mind training, it is prepared so kind of convenient. It's like food already prepared, and so easy to practice and easy to learn. And when you go back and find the resources, it's very convenient, unlike in ancient time. And so therefore it's kind of worthwhile to kind of make a little effort and just read the book, and along with the this kind of mind training text, having some understanding of mind and mental factors, or the Buddhist psychology. And with that, you can have some sense of different classifications, nature, function of positive emotions and negative emotions or mental factors. And with that, it would be beneficial, because the only by following this kind of method or technique, the only one that is benefiting is yourself. It will be helpful in kind of developing the quality of one's mind. So and important here is when you try to engage in this kind of practice study, it is important to kind of follow the instructions that we find in the text, which, as we mentioned before, has been the result of many, great dedicated masters of the past.
어때? 미국의 모다 쳐발라 오늘 미국라 끈지 마통나 미국 모다 쳐야지 시에 백하버리 다동 땅둘에 니가요 미국와 디용어 쳐발라 군동 밖에 가서 장년주 닝닝니슈 아니 징그르지 참산라 군롱왕기 미국으로 셔요 디조지 학고이나 되니 미국와 생인데라 꾼디는 디저도 다디 예리 소시귤라 미국와도 알아서 sem기 차시 차디요 봐 미국의 셈되게 돼 sem기 차시 차디요 딘디가라 딘건도 그 데지름도 다디 데지름이도 에게베 쳐라파 양 가규지야라 리라용고와 뭐다 기는 맞잖아 에게베 또 가규지야요 말아 이 로종 세에 다다지 자그마로 로종 세에 미개와 깨용도 갈라 파까 에게와 마치베 끼와지 끼와데 공도 배야게 답시지 제가 로종 세고로 봐도 진다게 말와 다 딘더베 담아세 다 장주기 셈식인데 나베 투모마인 베자케 차드요 페나 라바스미나니 띵인딩기 라바 지나 투모레 뭐다 파기 라바 추림기 라바네 지난 투모 존에지레 라바 셔럽기 라바제난 지난 투모 그래 라베 라바숨 시디게라 양 남베 투모 마인 베자케 차바레 뭐다 디디 시고야데 문이 체거래 뭐다 디 베네 투모고미야이나 지난 투모레 인규 응아던데 냠렌지레데 지난 투모레 투모잠 장주기 셈단데 투모 바자기 직제바이나 데 남베 투모 마이 베상케 차도와 이젠 지난 투모레즈 순구도와 뭐다디 오늘 시고야데 뺏게 침버 되게
why it is helpful to understand a little bit of Buddhist psychology. In mind training, when you train your mind, you need to be aware of what's going on in your mind. How your thoughts are arising and what kind of thoughts are arising and their kind of function and their influences on you as an individual. And so it is important to identify different thoughts, different emotions. And for that purpose, we see in Buddhist psychology, when it talks about mind and mental factors, especially about the destructive thoughts or destructive emotions, we find 6 root negative emotions or negative mental factors. Then 20 secondary destructive emotions, and then there are 4 which are kind of interchangeable, can become positive or negative. So if you identify negative emotion or negative mental thought as a negative thought, then you will realize when you experience that, this is this kind of thought. And when you realize this is negative thought, then you are aware of what is happening in your mind. You identify it. Once you identify it, then you will know that this is not something that is good for yourself. So then how can you kind of transform negative thought into positive thought, and what kind of positive thought is needed for that specific negative thought. And so that process or that procedure is actually a mind training. So therefore it's important to have some kind of understanding of psychology or Buddhist psychology or the different the emotions. And the importance of altruism or bodhicitta is because this is a very unique in Buddhism, and it makes a practice, certain practices, a Buddhist practice. And when we talk about, say, 3 baskets of turning, ethical discipline, wisdom, concentration, all of these could be something that you can find in non-Buddhist tradition and practice. But when we kind of attach or the feature with the word higher training, of wisdom, higher ethical conduct, higher concentration, this higher makes these all practice Buddhist, and higher in the sense that not ordinary practice, but we are using, or these all are accompanied by altruism, and then that becomes higher training. It becomes a unique Buddhist practice as compared to other practices, other non-Buddhist practices. And same can apply with the practice of generating an inner heat, the inner heat, what we call tumu in Tibetan, inner heat practice. It is also kind of general practice we find in non-Buddhist tradition, faith, or religion, but when it is accompanied by altruism, bodhicitta, then it becomes uniquely a Buddhist practice. Yes. So we'll stop here, and you can ask questions if you have. Yeah.
This past week, Geshe-la and I were talking, and we were talking about sitting meditation, and if somebody has injuries that make it almost impossible for them to sit without extreme pain, whether lying down meditation can have a beneficial effect for them.
딩엘 든다딩엘 게실라님도 고난 게시셔디 미카셰다 곰장에 저바이와 가실이야 소부에찬 마정에 되려라. 소부 내가 독자들이네. 아니다 게시다 속도신 데마도 내체는 든데기 갑란 마니에네 사소술 곰으로 잡내게 다 남주 곰기 평면은 시평 연구여러 와라도 곰기 평면데 다 내가 든데 독자들이나 곰장에 저바 가실로 소부기 데마도 곰기
네파데 지단은 미세요. 레스 좀 된대기. 고검제대가라 자외 고바터도데 로장기기 룽데 자우면이 줘야 돼. 고검제네 다 또바키 마케세데 대바지 두고 와래. 이 두고라 잔둥부고 와래. 잔둥부면나 룽 종제 하고 지겨래. 어디 인디가라 자외 경고름 승도 경고름 정모셔 야가를 빼 로보지에스 고곰 부네 고곰라 빼 미시바 농아요 gen지레스 아니 남남 그 최륜진이 곰게야다 장비 주탄진이다 국가간데 장비 주탄진이 곰게야니나네 아니 빼 용토니까 시도가라 남남 최륜데 시작이 아기 곰 살용도 없이 이 장비 주탄데 대সম지 남남 최륜다 장비 주탄지나 장비 주탄데 또 신바 용도 없이 근데 냠용 유연되긴 된데 송도 없이 경고름 송도 대소래다 지단은 내바이나 코 미세리 그때 니수 뺏다가 가가 차대요.
Generally, Buddha himself has given kind of exceptions, not only meditation but all in every practices for somebody who is going through illness or like a patient. So there's an exception for not requiring what is generally needs to be practiced by others. And in practice of meditation, one of the main objective in terms of maintaining a physical posture, so we find ability to kind of channelize the two slight energy channel into the central one, and for the purpose of attaining realizations. And one of the great Indian practitioners of meditation, shared his experiences with His Holiness, saying that when he compared between the two postures of meditation, the first one being maintaining a sevenfold, physical postures, and with the second one being the postures of noble one, which basically is the posture that you sit on the chair. So when you compare these two, posture strictly from the point of view of meditation, maintaining a sevenfold posture is much more effective in giving a result. So he shared that kind of thought, and so therefore there is a benefit of maintaining specific postures. But however, as we mentioned before, there's always exception and special permission for individuals who are not capable, because of illness or physical problems.
그 념용대 삼르다나 규정이어라이지. 로장이 시디가라 니마트 비싸 나와트 비싸라 그래. 지디 차자리 지디 롱자리 땡가랑 중요해요래. 대자도 수지디 남남 최딘지디 자다 뺏든 롱보 차거래. 아니 장배 주단전에 대zam치 자다 흘려 차거래. 자다 흘나 디바네 장가야기 닌가요라. 이 지그래. 자 우마신데 뭐야요 말이. 배전에 쉐기 얼마도 તને ચિકલગીના મુયા પાછે યોગાર થઈ તો કોણ તો બે યો મારે વતા ટીગીતા એની પે ચંદુ તા ngarazo નેંગાલા ચંદુ ngayo래 ટીગીતી મુયા 여러분 무야 요 말이 도스니 중미 시기요래 વતા ટીગીતે 디리다 조조 무야 얘기돼 로장이들이 차자들 농장이들 wata 차자들라 니만 비자 아니 농자들라 다와타 비자스리 민다가도가 wata 디기데 오니 조보가랑 조여래 다 고르기 주고래 나로룽 누고래 아니 디삼 멤베 조나라 차자데 마보지 농자도 몸보지는 지 땡오도 찌부찌겨 디리
So, the maintaining of physical differences, physical posture of two different, postures that we mentioned before, it makes kind of sense of these two differences. When you are maintaining the second one, which is noble posture, just sitting on the chair and meditate, it is not so kind of sort of compatible with the systems of energy and wind channel and their flow, as it happens with the first one, maintaining a sevenfold physical postures. And when we talk about three kind of channels, central and two side, the two sides are referred to as sun and moon kind of energy channel. Sometimes those two are referred as one being channel for blood and another being channel for wind. And in kind of images or pictures, we find blood channel being red, other being kind of blue color, and different knots of energy channel. Although many of these are not kind of anatomically findable, but however, these are kind of the first two being two side channels. We do see kind of depictions in different colors. Yeah.
Geshe-la mentioned that as we're imagining the taking of suffering, that we should imagine it going to our heart as we're breathing in. And I assume, I just wondered if he meant that we should be breathing, should we be breathing the suffering in through our nose and then sending it down to our heart, or should it be coming directly to our heart? And the second part of that question is, when we imagine giving virtue to others, should it be emanating directly from our heart, or should we be breathing it out from our heart up through our,
Tonlen digitizm zu len di zambal mi body jangdu ani u nagune ma ne ani kala orta ta ningal ma duro de ani da len di zambal nagune ma dos dunghe de shing dunghe da la orta ge sha su mi bo jangdu nagune ma dos chen su sam ninga ga chen su sam do sam da dos tang ora da na shin pa tang du zambal yang ta ga kala ora u nagune da zama yan ba dunghe de kala orta rangi ge wa de ge sama shin je du da sim ding ne kala ninga ga ne ya yung yo ro shi 몇 chedan shoro chedan odu shogoro lodo
u rong chigi na ta u de nyam do pa le ene tang du gala u de nyam do pa tang du chena u de yimba so de chagro ani samlo to so khorde chagro ta u rong ma jena ne kaptu la ning ke gala du silena ene pa ta na u rong chigi me na ko du chena ma de yo mares ka ji so so ka tab de du mi pa char de du ta te chikyu res
when you do practice of Tonglen, giving and taking through kind of breathing, then it is good to kind of visualize coming out of your heart. Likewise, when you take taking all the way down into heart. But if you are not using breathing itself, and then you're just kind of visualizing without focusing on exhaling and inhaling, then you can just visualize directly coming out of heart rather than going through. As we mentioned in the teachings, writing on breath. So wherever the breathing goes, and you visualize the same channel where you are receiving and giving out. So same kind of, I guess you were saying, positional locations of the breathing. You visualize the same, coming and going.
We have time for one more. Geshe-la spoke of using wind energy or wind horse as a form of mind training to help with memory. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on that.
Standardi je kaza lung shomba chini any sim chemba yarge tan choro. Chemba tenshi ten di yargan di golo dis mangsung chila gusir. Kandiro chila goris.
Wata di sigore. Lung sem juba jipare esirwa. Juba ji sidigala lung ta ko chik pagi karsore. Ko kawai na nirvoji sigorwa lungde nirshoji. Sem pagi ju yondikala juba pe nirvore sem juba de. Susu chana te zamji pagi sem yargen doya yore. 이 장와라 튕긴다마 소나 진시 땡고야데 개침버리지 송고아래 진시데 쉬우지 개침버리 말아서 땡긴지 거나 진시데 빼미스 튕긴 소리도 와 아니 덴바데 소바존들이 갸갑다 마소나 소바존들이 코파기니 단 시진데 소바존들이 아니 코페 소바데 코 디제 젠다 엄마라와 미규막지니 규민을 내기와래 아니 자라지니 디 간데지 치미소 베직 내경에 누구미도 당한지로 와 시진데 딱 자기 미개의 셈당 미개 왔더니 용구도 미도 자라지인데 시진기 디 용어 뭐다 쳤니 시진기 템발라 디제 템바도 플러스 존이지 Lusco ma chigi DJ ore Quran team ore ko DJ yeto ko ti ta ngana zu kuma ina chapa ina ta chi team ma kekende jin ti du do wata shejingi wata temba tigi phagi DJ ne gom gya karina ko semde yengwa ina yankyor mite gale jaje shejingi charachi ani tembe yang woman kala yang do jaya tapi woman kala jana te manda ngaran so temba de shijinde manso khala jizananda tologico nanda temba de shijinde pe ke chambure do kare ina di na susu 내가 간대지나 투션로야 매긴 쳐 정신이 야부지는 다 내가 가리네 투션 계속 깨다만 또야 말이야 어떻게 개첨부터 개첨부 차대요 있어 아니 리우지바당 나빠니 로다 템바다 시징이 리우땡이 전주나라
The wind or a wind and mind or breath or air or mind are considered in the text we find having kind of same basically they both use the same kind of same target, same object of observation. In the text we find kind of saying there follows kind of the same goes together in the same direction. The one reason here is because of the nature of the quickness, a lack of obstructions. In case of mind, you can think of any time. It kind of there's no. It cannot be obstructed by object. It can go anywhere. Like thoughts. So and the introspection and mindfulness, these two are very kind of important, as we mentioned in the the meditation practice. We use this kind of metaphor, mindfulness and introspection. The introspection is like how these two kind of work within our mind as a mental factor. Introspection is like a spy. It's not so obvious. Spying. Those who are engaged in this kind of activity, they kind of interact with the common people, not revealing their identification. But the function is to kind of inform. If whatever or whoever that needs to be informed. And then we use metaphor for mindfulness as a police officer who are very obvious from the external, maybe costume or dressed, and not only that, they have the ability to arrest and give punishment. And so then the relationship between these two is that introspection, mental factor, it just inform, if there are negative emotions arising, inform to the mindfulness. And then mindfulness is the one that kind of brings here the primary mind back to the where it should be focusing. So this is these two mental factors we use most kind of commonly in practice of meditation. One being kind of spying, and other being doing actual kind of arrest and bringing it back physically. So so these two application of these two, although we do use these to almost kind of every time, whatever activities that we do, eating or dressing or walking, these two are always kind of functioning within us, but not very kind of obvious or not manifested level. And so if you become kind of more aware, and if you intentionally kind of push this power of these two much stronger, then it could become a very effective in your practice. So so the importance, as we mentioned before, if you look more detail about these two, again, kind of Shantideva's book, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, chapter 4 and 5. Chapter 4 is about conscientiousness, and chapter 5 is about introspective. So these two attitude or mindset or mental factors has a very important role in, and therefore given a special kind of detailed explanation in each chapters. Pendant de wa Mali Jongwe Ne Chere Siwa Tenzin Jasu Shabe Side Partu Tenju Jamba Babu Jidra Jamba Da Kundu Sambo Tia Dishin De Da Kungi Jesu Dalo Jin Gyawa Dida Tamje Rabdu Tisum Shebe Gyawa Tamje Ngowa Kana Chodo Ngaba Den Da Jin Gebe Tsawa Dikun Gyasangbo Chunje Rabdu Ngowaraki. In the land encircled by snow-white mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits flows in your person. Generously tends and Gyatso remained until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attained omniscience and Samandabhacha too, so now I to dedicate these merits to train and follow in their footsteps. As all the victorious Buddhas of past, present and future praised dedication to Supreme, so now I do dedicate this source of my merit for all beings to perfect good actions.